Hi, Laura Goricki, mobile trainer with G-Force Athletics. So you've got a new Bosu, or maybe you've just joined a gym and they have Bosus available for your use and you're just not sure how to use them. This is what I'm going to call Bosu 101, how to get to know your Bosu balance trainer. I'm going to introduce you to how to properly inflate the trainer, how to store it, what not to do, and also how to get used to being on the Bosu itself. So let's get started. Be sure to follow the instructions provided by Bosu on how to properly inflate your equipment. What you want to do, once you've inflated it, you want to go shoot for about between 9 to 9.5 inches. And the best way to measure that is to turn the Bosu over on the dome side, make sure it's flat, then take your measuring tape and go from the floor up to the top of the platform side. And you'll see mine is right at 9 inches, maybe a little bit higher. I think that's a great starting point for a beginner on a Bosu. Now that your Bosu is properly inflated, you want to make sure that you store the Bosu in a cool, dry environment. You also want to periodically check the Bosu, the seams around the edge, between where the dome and the platform meet. I'll just pick it up and show you here. Just periodically check the seams just to make sure they're not coming apart from overuse or overinflation. Now, I learned something last summer, what not to do with the Bosu. The Bosu doesn't like heat. Here's a picture of my Bosu taken in July, just a few months ago. Now, that Bosu looks very pregnant. What I did was, since I'm a mobile trainer, I kept the Bosu in my car 90% of the time because I'm traveling between clients in my car, so I pretty much work out of my car. Well, the heat caused the Bosu to overinflate. Bosu company actually cautioned me of that, and I really appreciate them bringing that to my attention. So I let some of the air out. It was actually up to a little bit more than 11 inches. I let the air out, got it down to about 9 inches, but now that Bosu is just not firm and it's kind of dangerous to work on. So you want to make sure you keep your Bosu between that 9 and 10 inch recommended height. Periodically measure it, keep it in a cool, dry space, and always check that seam to make sure it's not coming apart. Now, let's get comfortable on the Bosu. Another good idea is to always keep your Bosu dry. As you can see, it's a rainy day out today, so I'm filming in my garage. There is some rain in here from where I've had my car parked. My shoes are wet, so I've been standing on the Bosu, so I'm going to dry it off. So make sure the dome is always dry, and if you're doing a lot of activities on the Bosu and you sweat on it, you want to keep wiping the sweat off of it. So again, before you do anything, make sure your Bosu is dry. I would recommend wearing shoes. I wouldn't get on this with just socks. Some people do activities on the Bosu with bare feet. I prefer to wear shoes. It just helps me stabilize more. The Bosu is an excellent piece of equipment to help strengthen not only your core but your ankles as well. So the first thing you want to do is just kind of step on and off the Bosu just to get used to how it feels. So just step up, and we'll call the Bosu trademark in the middle, we'll call that the bullseye. So when both feet are on the Bosu, you typically want to straddle that bullseye with both feet. So just kind of step up, get comfortable, and step back off. Step up. You're going to feel a little wobbly. That's okay. What you want to avoid is try not to lean on your toes. You want to lean mostly on the balls of your feet, going towards your heels, not really on your heels, but kind of keep that mid-foot stance. You don't want to it puts a little pressure, too much pressure on your knees if you're on your toes. So again, you may feel a little wobbly. So just do that a few times. Make sure you're straddling that bullseye. Stepping on and off. Just getting comfortable with that. And again, since my shoes are a little wet, I'm going to dry this off in between so I don't slip and fall. Now once you're comfortable stepping on and off the Bosu, let's just get on top of that Bosu. Get your feet comfortably planted in that mid-foot range where you're on kind of on the balls of your feet, between the balls of your feet and the heels, and just stand here. You get comfortable standing. You might want to bounce a little. Go from front to back with your feet. You're using your core. Even just standing still, you're relying on your core to control the balance on the Bosu. That's why the Bosu is called the Bosu Balance Trainer. Now once you're comfortable standing on the Bosu, try doing a couple of squats. They don't need to be deep. Just bend your knees and squat down slightly. Now if you feel comfortable doing that, try going into a deeper squat. Take your time. Remember to use control. You can use your arms to help maintain your balance. And since you are using your core, make sure you're engaging your abs. Keep your back neutral. So you don't want to lean forward too much, just like you're doing a typical squat on the floor. You want to keep your knees pretty much over your ankles so you're not putting too much strain on your feet. Another thing you can do while you're standing on the Bosu is just jump. So just do a little hop and stabilize. So kind of catch yourself with your legs. So just a little hop, just to kind of get used to how it feels landing on the Bosu. Another thing you can do while standing on the Bosu is just reach down, touch with one hand, and come back up. So you've done squats and you've done hops. Now just try a little reach down. Remember to keep your back neutral. You don't want to lean forward. You want to use your legs. So you're going down in a squat, alternating your hands, reach down and just touch. So even if you are unable to reach all the way down and touch the Bosu with your hand, just moving your arms while you're squatting and attempting to touch the Bosu still challenges your balance and your coordination and engages your core. Another good way to get used to being on the Bosu is to walk in place, use those arms, and go a little faster, maybe even just run on the Bosu. This is a great way to work your legs. You'll feel your leg muscles fatigue pretty quickly. So even though you're just running in place, you're trying to control your balance and you're engaging your core, and your feet aren't very stable. This is one of those activities that really challenges your ankles. It requires ankle strength. So I would suggest if you have weak ankles in the beginning not to attempt this until you strengthen your ankle, the area around your ankles. This is another way to get used to stepping on and off the Bosu and just stabilize. This is a step up to knee raise. Now this time, since you're stepping up with one foot and not placing the other foot on the Bosu, you want to step right on that bullseye. So step up, bring your knee up, stabilize, then alternate, step up, your knee comes up, stabilize. Okay, a couple more ways to get used to the Bosu. Again, you'll see me drying this off periodically. Is get on the Bosu on your knees. and lift up your feet off of the floor. Let me show you from the side. So my feet are not touching the floor. You can hold your arms up to the side if you want, but this also engages your abs, works your core because you're having to work on your balance while you're here. Do a little movement with your arms. You can even circle down, do a sort of semi-crunch here. Again, this all challenges your balance and your coordination, which strengthens your core. So that's balancing on your knees. The other way, balance on your bottom. This really makes you engage your abdominal muscles to hold your body up. So you want to have your butt right on the bullseye. In the beginning, you want to hold on to the dome side of the Bosu and just lift your feet up. And just balance. No movement is required. You're just teaching yourself to balance on the Bosu. And once you're comfortable holding yourself up with your hands on the Bosu, then just let go. And you'll see that challenges you even more because you're relying completely on your core strength to keep you balanced on the Bosu. And it's okay if you move around a little bit because this is a very unstable surface. So there's just a few ideas to get used to the Bosu. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do and as much as many of my athletes to have. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. If you want some training ideas, please watch any of my YouTube videos or email me directly at the email address above. Happy Bosuing!